features on companies, people, strategies, ideas, and economic trends. The Financial Times offers an unrivaled platform for advertisers to enhance brand awareness and move products. We will enable you to reach confident and informed consumers and decision makers who are ready to buy, which includes company CEOs, CFOs, managers, entrepreneurs, policymakers in government, politics and civil society, diplomats, members of the academia, and other key influencers. See examples of advertisement opportunities featured in Financial Times T sections below. Telecom sections, real estate section, company news, banking, finance and insurance industry, information technology, national, regional and global markets overview, motoring, lifestyle. Get your copy of Financial Times for only 2,000 Tanzania shillings only.
In Capital News tonight, 3 people are killed after a boat capsized in Rufiji River. UN says the situation in Eastern DRC is worrying due to rebel attacks. And TSA to organize a national swimming competition this weekend. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. 3 residents of Nyaminwiri village in Kipugula ward have died after a boat carrying 21 passengers capsized and sank in Rufiji River Coast region. The police commander of Rufiji Police Zone, Assistant Commissioner Onesmo Manasseh Lianga, said 18 people were rescued by residents who had turned up at the scene of the boat accident. He said the accident occurred after the boat hit a log that was under the boat, causing the passengers to panic and run to one end of the boat. Those who lost their lives in the incident have been identified as Wastara Said, Mwajuma Athman Libeneke, and her child Mwajue Diola. Now, 5 vehicles were completely destroyed and 2 others damaged in a fire outbreak last night, which nearly burned at the Oilcom petrol station at Boko Magengeni area in Dar es Salaam. The Rescue and Fire Fighting Brigade said that the cause of the fire outbreak was an electrical fault in one of the affected cars.
When the fire started, I was at home sleeping, and since I'm one of the owners of the cars behind here, this is my car. When the fire started, I got a call around 1 saying there's a big fire which has started here. You should hurry and remove your cars. So when I woke up from home, I didn't have transport to reach here. And getting at the bus stop, there were no any local buses passing, so I had to run here. And while I was running, I got a call saying 1 car had already burned badly, which is this one you are seeing. It's truly sad. Myself, when I arrived in the morning, I found burned cars. I don't even know how they got burned. I asked around and I heard there's a car which did a starter on its own. So I still don't know the cause of it. Others are saying there was a short caused by the electrical wires. So until now, I still don't know the cause of this fire.
As
the military fire department, we got the call on the fire around 1:55 a.m. in the night, and we took no more than 10 minutes to arrive here, as in 2:10 a.m. we had already arrived at the incident area. And as you can see, the measures which were taken, and this is a non-official parking area, which had more than 30 cars and bajajes, which its official number has not yet been known.
The District Commissioner of Ubungo, Kisare Makori, has directed traders who conduct their activities in Ubungo area where the interchange is being constructed to move to Simu Efumbili, Simu 2000, mostly known as a bus stop, as their activities are hindering the construction project. The Ubungo District Commissioner gave directive when he spoke to the traders during a tour of the area. On their part, the traders say that they support government efforts in the project, but they want improvements made at Simu 2000 area in order to attract customers. The Register of Political Parties, Judge Francis Mutungi, said that in order to sustain and strengthen democracy in the country, there needs to be a political party which engage in politics on a fair and equitable basis. Speaking with the leaders of political parties in the country during a working meeting that was held to exchange views on how to run political parties more like institutions, Judge Mutungi urged the leaders of the political parties to recognize that they have a duty to the country and their party members to strengthen the foundation of peace, democracy and good governance within their respective parties.
The political leaders are not only responsible for the growth of a nation, but even for the citizens. When we say a political party has become a public institution, it means that when you form a political party, it belongs to you, the founder. But when you implement your goals, you are involving the public. So you are fully responsible to your party members and the public. In this regard, we are here because we are your major stakeholders.
A resident from Kasulu in Kigoma region, Fabian Filbert, has been arrested with equipment from Tanzania Electricity Supply Company TANESCO in Ruvuma region worth more than 17.6 million shillings, which was found in his room at Msalama Mabatini area in Songea town. The police commander of Ruvuma, SACP Jamini Moshi, said the equipment was found after some residents reported the incident to the police.
Ruvuma region is currently busy with development activities, mostly in building electricity infrastructure. This kind of incident is a big sabotage to the electricity company and even to the society at large, since the sabotage might end up slowing down services that were supposed to begin on time. We call these kind of acts enemies of development, and efforts by our leaders such as our President Dr. John Magufuli, who is fighting for the development of this nation.
Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli.
These tools were used by Rural Electrification Agency, who are responsible for providing electricity in villages. We're calling on the security organs to strengthen security of such assets. I believe the capture of this equipment is the beginning of many. We have been blaming our procurement officers for negligence, but soon enough we'll discover the source of the sabotage in our authority.
Kagera Region Commissioner Brigadier General Marco Elisha Gaguti has said a stern action will be taken against traders who import sugar illegally through the region's borders with Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda and Kenya in order to rescue Kagera Sugar Factory in Misenyi district, which is facing various challenges due to illegal sugar imports. Brigadier General Gaguti made the statement when he toured the factory and observed large stock of sugar in warehouses due to lack of market.
As the regional commissioner, I will direct special measures in order to make sure that there is no illegal sugar passing through our borders, which is bordering with 3 countries from Burundi, from Rwanda, and from Uganda. And I can assure you, I was talking with the minister in charge. He told me the government is doing a special move so that this illegal sugar becomes history in Tanzania. This is to protect our local industries. It's not just a matter of sugar, but the whole issue of illegal stuffs passing through our borders without following procedures.
A team of livestock and animal specialists in Arusha region have started to provide free medical treatment to donkeys who have sustained injuries after carrying heavy cargo. The specialists have said that they have decided to provide the free services after seeing increased incidents of animal abuse. On their part, livestock keepers say they do not see the need to spend money treating such animals as donkeys, as they do not eat their meat.
Things being done to donkeys who are harshly treated, including carrying heavy cargo, heavier compared to their age and body weight. They have wounds because they're beaten so badly, even with ropes that are used to tighten the cargo. We don't treat our donkeys because we don't eat the meat. Why bother with the medication? My job is only to use a donkey to carry the cargo. That is all. I don't need to treat them well. I care about my cattle and my goats. ASP organization has been here for 4 years. They have provided us with education on how to care about these animals.
Mtwara District Resident Magistrate Court has ruled that fish from Mozambique which entered Mtwara region illegally to be auctioned. The magistrate of the court, James Mohoni, said the decision was made by the court as it was not possible to store the fish while illegal proceedings continue. 12 Tanzanians and a national from Mozambique have been detained after being implicated in the case. They were arrested at Msimbati area along the border of Tanzania and Mozambique after getting the fish from Msamvu Island.
They are on auction because the fishery did not follow the procedures, as in the license. In other words, they were fished by not following the right procedures. My advice, let's work hard, meaning by following the law, by having license and doing everything required in fishery. So many processes were done today. The law people were here. Judges came. There were some fishes, if they had stayed another night, then they could have completely stalled. So the judge came and followed all right procedures and the fishes were on auction. I witnessed law actions being followed, so there is no any problems. I'm only calling on the fishermen that they shouldn't use shortcuts. This is their job, and fishery is recognized by the government as any other jobs. So they should just follow the law, because even fishery license is 25,000.
Closed-door meetings of the East African Legislative Assembly have started in Arusha City. The assembly is expected to begin officially to debate various issues early next week. The ELA Speaker Martin Ngoga said that the assembly is expected to be in session for 28 days, during which it will discuss various agendas.
Now the committees are meeting to start discussions, and next week the whole parliament will meet. The agendas are quite many. We'll discuss one bill and discuss reports from all the committees. The Secretariat report on activities that were done in the previous financial year within the 20 days that will be here.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next after the break.
The relaunched Financial Times is the premier business newspaper in Tanzania. The Financial Times is a weekly source of information and business insight for the most successful leaders, executives, investors, and entrepreneurs in Tanzania and throughout the East Africa region. We provide critical business insight and in-depth features on companies, people, strategies, ideas, and economic trends. The Financial Times offers an unrivaled platform for advertisers to enhance brand awareness and move products. We will enable you to reach confident and informed consumers and decision makers who are ready to buy, which includes company CEOs, CFOs, managers, entrepreneurs, policymakers in government, politics and civil society, diplomats, members of the academia, and other key influencers. See examples of advertisement opportunities featured in Financial Times sections below. Telecom sections, real estate section, company news, banking, finance and insurance industry, information technology, national, regional and global markets overview, motoring, lifestyle. Get your copy of Financial Times for 2,000 Tanzania shillings only.
Welcome back, and in international news. The United Nations in the Democratic Republic of Congo have said the situation in eastern Congo, particularly in northern Kivu, is unstable. This comes after 5 government soldiers and 6 civilians were killed by rebels who also kidnapped about 40 people.
The situation that occurred was bad because The government forces were ambushed this week by rebel groups which were armed. It was worse in Tara area, where the military base of the Democratic Republic of Congo is, and they were attacked by rebels who killed 5 soldiers and citizens, and they also kidnapped 46 citizens.
Germany's head of domestic intelligence agency, Hans-Georg Maassen, has been relieved of his duties but promoted to deputy head of the Interior Ministry, ending to an impasse in Chancellor Angela Merkel's coalition. The move is a compromise between Social Democrats, who demanded his removal, and Conservative Interior Minister Horst Seehofer. Thomas Speyer from Deutsche Welle has more on these developments in the following interview with Yvonne Msebembo of Capital Television.
Hello, Thomas. It seems like the migrant policy is creating new scenarios in Germany, with the latest one involving the head of domestic intelligence. And after compromises reached between the coalition parties in Germany, which I understand has resulted in his promotion. Tell us more about this.
Well, this can only be described as a surreal compromise. The head of the domestic intelligence agency, Hans-Georg Maassen, had been under a lot of controversy in recent days because of some comments that he made questioning the authenticity of a video which apparently showed anti-immigrant violence. There were other reports which then showed that he apparently gave information, sensitive information, to the far-right Alternative for Germany, and this created a wave here in Germany of politicians demanding him to leave his position. This revealed at the same time the fault lines within Germany's governing coalition, whereas the Social Democrats wanted him to be sacked. The Interior Minister, Horst Seehofer, wanted him to remain in his current position. And the compromise that was achieved yesterday here, not far away from where we are standing, was that he will be leaving his current position as head of the Domestic Intelligence Agency, but at the same time he will be promoted to a different position within the Interior Ministry as one of the deputy heads of the Interior Ministry, or state secretaries as it's known here. You can just imagine the type of reactions that have come out after this piece of news was presented to the public, whereas some people actually thought that he should be punished and should have left his position. Obviously there is some concern that he's actually now being promoted to what is considered to be a better one. The good side of the story, at least for the governing coalition, is that they can preserve the governing coalition and they can say that another crisis has been averted. But the outcome is an outcome that certainly doesn't have everyone here in Germany pleased.
So what does this mean for Chancellor Angela Merkel, who actually wanted him removed?
Well, Angela Merkel had indicated, or at least there were reports that she had wanted him to leave. Those were reports that came out on Monday, and it seems that she was really trying to get that compromise to make sure that the two members of the governing coalition that couldn't agree actually found some sort of agreement. So on the one hand, obviously making sure that the Social Democrats got what they wanted, namely Mr. Maassen being removed from his position as Germany's top spy, as it's described. On the other hand, also making sure that her Interior Minister, Horst Seehofer, who is also one of the key members of the Bavarian CSU, that's a sister party of Angela Merkel's Conservatives, also could get what he wanted, namely to keep Mr. Maassen within the Interior Ministry. For Angela Merkel, this just once again reveals how difficult it has become for her to govern in Germany, to make sure that she can implement policies, because it seems that migration has become the sort of overarching topic here in Germany, the dominating topic, and the reason for many of the crises and debates within the governing coalition. And if you actually look at what Germans want, if you look at what Germans have been demanding, many actually say, stop quarreling about migration and start acting on some of the issues that Germans are actually interested in and want to have resolved. Education, for example, infrastructure, healthcare, care for the elderly. There are many topics that for Germans are particularly important and that go even beyond the discussion on migration, which, as we've discussed many times right here in our weekly cross, is also particularly important here in Germany.
So what does this say about this coalition? You know, it seems like it's facing really major challenges, you know. The future for the coalition.
Well, just remember what we discussed here at the beginning of the year. We spent many minutes discussing the difficulties in forming a governing coalition that took months to form the government that Germany now has, because the different partners could not come to agreements. An agreement was finally made between the Conservatives and the Social Democrats, as we know, but what has come out of that is basically one fight after the other. In most cases, the topic is migration, whether we're talking about allowing people in, or deporting migrants who should leave the country, or building centers for them in different parts of the country. You name it, it seems that the governing coalition is just faces one crisis, and when it solves that crisis, it faces another. And it again has revealed to what extent Angela Merkel's power seems to be waning, seems to be affected here in Germany, because she simply can't get the partners to work together and present some of the policies that, as I mentioned, Germans want. So that is again the appeal that has come out of this, whereas some people are obviously happy that the solution was agreed, that there was a compromise, even if that compromise, as we described, is surreal and does not have everyone happy. What people are asking is for Germans, and especially the German government now, to really focus on some of the issues that are absolutely key for Germany in the future.
Thank you very much, Thomas, for that update.
Always a pleasure.
And that's the end of international news. Business news follows next.
In this program, we're looking at developments in the agricultural sector, particularly in the area of supplying fertilizer to farmers in the country.
There's a lot to be done so that these smallholder farmers can have a commercial production, instead of just being a smallholder and they don't get any profit out of it.
Many Tanzanians face the challenge of capital. How did you address this to make sure that, okay, I'm going to go into this business, I need to go around the country and be able to supply fertilizer on time to these farmers?
We've been supported with our partner, because we partner with a company called Yara. It's a multinational company. It's like #1 company dealing with manufacture of the fertilizer. So they've been also supporting us on that.
Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight. Stakeholders of competition issues in Africa meeting in Dar es Salaam have said more efforts are needed to be taken against companies producing fake goods which find their way into the market. Speaking at the meeting, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Charles Mwijage, said that many fake products flood markets in Africa due to poverty, as their products are sold very cheap.
In the project buying, the government announces a road project. Then they agree that you will do it according to their price.
We should all view effective competition as a key process to achieve our goal, economic growth, market efficiency, and enhance consumer welfare, as it does in goods and services being provided to consumers at competitive price. I am a socialist, and I don't expect to change. So we are talking about the issue of standards. The issue of standards. When we talk about competition, it's all about standards.
The Deputy Minister of Land, Housing and Settlement Development, Angelina Mabula, has directed financial institutions which provide housing loans to verify collateral such as land used as security by customers in order to avoid disputes and incurring losses when it is discovered that the land cannot be used for construction or development activities. Deputy Minister Angelina Mabula made the statement in Dodoma during the Nyumba Day exhibition.
Scrutinize the borrowers in the area they're going to build. Make sure the area is surveyed. If you give the loans to those in the squatter areas, they will fail to pay them, and then you too will get into trouble recovering those loans. So it is a must when their customers come to take a loan on a house, they have to follow procedures. This is to bring together the buyers, house builders, and also those who will sell construction materials. And our aim is to solve the issue of a customer wanting a house, but they do not know where to start. A customer may need a house to buy, but are not sure where to get the property developers.
And that's the end of business news. Sports news follows up next.
Hi, my name is Kotaro Tokuda.
What's up? My name is Céline Garnier.
I'm John Barnes from Liverpool Football Club. The hip, hop, a hip, the hip, hop. You don't stop the rockin' to the bang, bang. Boogie, say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you hear?
I'm watching Sports Gazette.
I'm watching Sport Gazette.
And you're watching Sports Gazette
with Sebastian.
With Sebastian. Peace out.
Yes! And you can also watch Sports Gazette for highlights and interviews regarding sports. Do not miss Sports Gazette every Wednesday at 7 p.m. only on Capital Television.
Sports news. The Tanzania Swimming Association has organized the National Open Championship, which will take place this Saturday and Sunday at the IST pool in Dar es Salaam.
Here we have, as TSA, we have two championships. One is the age group,
yes,
where strictly for the clubs and the entries and top time, top speed, and everyone has to attend, exception whether you are outside, studying outside, living outside of Tanzania, anywhere you are, is like a ticket to go to international competitions. So that one, which we do in March, February, March, is a compulsory for any Tanzanian to attend.
Yes.
The second one we have is the Open Championship. When we say open, we do not have much limitation on the entry time. We put more swimmers in the event, but for the national championship clubs is 2 entries per event. So, but this one you can put as many so long as they qualify.
Antonio Valencia will not play in Manchester United's Champions League opener against Young Boys because of concerns over how he will react to the Swiss side's artificial pitch. Here's more on the story.
The defender missed United's first 2 games of the season with a knee injury, and manager Jose Mourinho is not prepared to risk the 33-year-old in Wednesday's Group H game in Bern. The Portuguese also confirmed that left-back Luke Shaw will play in the game after missing United's 2-1 Premier League win at Watford at the weekend. In other games today, Manchester City will host Lyon, Ajax will host Athens, Hoffenheim will travel to Shakhtar, Benfica play Bayern Munich, Real Madrid invite Roma, Victoria Pilsen will host CSKA Moscow, and Juventus will play Valencia.
And legendary U.S. swimmer Michael Phelps says more must be done to support Olympians after they move out of the spotlight. Here's more on the story.
January that he contemplated suicide during the worst periods of his own depression. I don't think there's been much help for when an athlete retires, he said. Phelps won record 23 Olympic gold medals competing at Sydney 2000, Athens 2004, Beijing 2008, London 2012, and after retirement in comeback Rio 2016. The American, now retired for good, suffered from depression in the wake of each games. He was arrested for driving in November 2004, pictured apparently smoking cannabis in November 2008, and barely left his bedroom for days at a time in late 2012.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. Thank you for watching. My name is Khadija Zimbwe, and it's good night for now.